Good morning. I'd like us to think about the planet that we live on, creation, and how wonderful it is. Now, we live in a very dangerous universe. It's full of black holes and huge nuclear furnaces that we call suns that spew out radiation and all sorts. And we live on this little planet thinking we're quite safe. We go down to the beach in the summer and we think, isn't this lovely? Without any thought as to the mayhem that's going on around us. So how is it that we live in such a safe planet? Well, it probably isn't quite as safe as we think it is. For example, lightning kills lots of people each year. And here I have the periodic table, which is the elements that make up us and the planet in us. Now, these elements are not terribly safe either. Here we have sodium and potassium. Now, if you put pure sodium into water, it'll fizz, and it might even catch light. Put potassium, pure potassium into water, it will fizz and it will burst into flame, and you'll get a pretty purple flame off it. So not very safe. Now, at the other end of the spectrum, we have chlorine, which is a deadly gas. Now, put these together, put sodium and chlorine together, and we get a white crystal. Here it is. And what do we do with it? This dangerous chemical? We sprinkle it on our chips. Even worse, we add an acid vinegar to the mix. We chew it up. We swallow it down into a stomach full of hydrochloric acid, which is an extremely corrosive material. And the stomach copes with it. It doesn't blow up. How does that happen? How does the stomach cope with that corrosive stuff inside it? Well, of course, if we're not healthy, it doesn't. Now, the question is, where did the chips come from? Well, they actually come from green leaves. Now, we know what green leaves do, and I've sort of done this before. It takes carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, which is why we should be planting more trees. It takes water from the roots, it splits the hydrogen, into hydrogen and oxygen, puts the hydrogen into the carbon dioxide, and you get this. Sorry to be complicated. You get a molecule which is formed of carbon, hydrogen and oxygen in various amounts. And that gives us all of this stuff. And how it is that plants produce different forms and puts the same sugar into it is beyond this video, believe me. Now, we need sugar because without it, we wouldn't live. There would be no life on this planet. Now, I can take a glass of water and I can blow carbon dioxide through it, and I will never get sugar, even if I do it in the sunlight. But that, believe me, is a really good thing. Otherwise, the oceans would be one huge sugar bowl, and we wouldn't have water, we'd have too much oxygen, and the planet would burn up. Instead of which, the plant uses sunlight as a source of energy to produce the sugar. It's controlled, which is a really good thing. But it will only do this if the leaf is alive. All right, it might not be at the moment, but it was alive when it was attached to the plant. And without life, none of these chemical reactions would take place, which is why I can't produce sugar in my glass of water. None of the chemical reactions that go on in our body, and there are numerous ones, they won't happen unless we are alive. But we don't know what life is. We've never been able to figure it out. It's not electricity, it's some ethereal thing. We know the difference between life and death, but what makes us alive, we don't know. Well, it comes from God, of course. So, as it says in the book of Job, chapter 37 and verse 5, God reveals wonders and does great deeds that we cannot understand. So I hope that you've coped with this morning's video. There are so many more things on this planet that are so wonderful, so amazing. I'll just go on a bit longer. I have here some willow bark. Now the willow bark contains salicin, and how the plant makes this, I don't know, and why other trees don't make it so much is also, I don't know. It takes the sugar and it adds a bit to it, and it produces an aspirin-like substance that we can use for pain relief. It's phenomenal, and I know that you'll be able to think of other amazing things that God has done. It didn't happen by accident, couldn't possibly have done so. So we're thankful to God that he's given us a reasonably safe life here, and we have a better life to come when God, who can do anything, will put things right for us. Thank you so much for watching. Take care.